Alright, this is Stevie again. We got another project guitar that I picked up from a friend of mine. This is an Epiphone DR. Not sure how old this is. I think it's got some age on it. That's a serial number, if you know how to recognize them. So the last two numbers are 97. I don't know if that represents the year or not, but it's just been left aside. It's kind of covered in smoke and grime and grungy. There's a few nicks here and there. A couple things, not anything tremendous. The neck looks fairly straight. I checked it with a gauge. It's got a little bit of a back bow, but I think that should be correctable. It's got a truss rod. There's the body itself. And like I said, it's all covered in smoke and grime. It's been left sort of in a terrible situation. But I think this is a made in China deal. It says so. And it's got the old style tuners, you know, that aren't anything to write home about. I don't know. Well, we may replace these. They're kind of in crummy shape. I can feel they're not working very well. So I may put a new set of tuners on there. But we're going to clean it up and restore it and get it in good condition to play again. It looks like a worthwhile project. And like I said, there's a few nicks here and there, but there's nothing horrendous in this. So this will be project new. Okay, so this is an Epiphone DR 90 NA. It's kind of a base model Epiphone. I looked up the serial number. It says it was made about 2010, so it's about, this is 2020, so it's about 10 years old. It's kind of grubby. It's got some real basic tuners on there. I think I have some identical to that. I may try to replace them and take them off and put a new set of tuners on, because those are working terrible. And I did pull the bridge. There are no, what do you call it, widgets underneath there, so it's at its regular height. But there was no strings on this, so I don't know what the string height is. So I think I'm going to first off grab an old string or a separate string and just put it on the guitar to see basically what the condition of the string height and all that kind of stuff is before I really get into doing too much. I got to take the cover off to do a truss rod adjustment. And as a matter of fact, while we're hanging around here right now, I can take a quick look at the neck. I got my neck guide right here, so we'll see what kind of shape the neck's in, starting out with no strings on it. It's got just a little bit of relief in the neck, not much, so the neck may be okay. That's why I think I want to get a string and throw it on, and I'll see how this thing lines up initially. All right, so I put a set of strings on. It's just a little high. The action's just a little bit high. The neck does have a bit of relief in it already. So this is a pretty good reference to be able to see what the action and stuff is here right now, the way it's coming in the house. So I haven't touched anything. I haven't cleaned anything. I just put two strings on, the E and the E, just because I could. So I could see what the basic setup of this thing is right now. I could trim a little bit more off the bridge down the bottom and drop the action down, but I think the first thing I'm going to do is try a truss rod adjustment and see what happens if I take some of the relief out of the neck and make it flat, and if that will give me back what I want for string height. So we got to open this up and get into the truss rod, and hopefully it'll work. So this is before we do any cleaning or doing anything. This guitar will play again, regardless of what happens here right now, because it's in fairly decent shape, and I think I can get it into a position where it'll play fairly well. So I'm not too scared. It's only a movie. Take the last screw out, and then we'll see if we've got a truss rod wrench to fit that, which I know we do. NBD, no big deal. Okay, so that cover is off, and the cover doesn't cover anything. So the truss rod is down in the other end. So I didn't have to take that off at all, but it'll be good to clean it. So you live and you learn. That's just a decoration. It ain't got a damn thing in the world to do with the truss rod. So I'm going to truss rod wrench in my hot little fingers here. I'm going to open the little package up and we'll take the wrench out and see if this will work. If we get lucky, it'll fit. Oh, it's better to be lucky than good. So we got a bit of a back bow. I'm sorry, a bit of a relief in there. Let me give this a couple of turns. Ooh, now we're loose as a goose. We're in dead center. And that's just starting to pick up on the other side now. Now we'll take a look with our straight edge and see what that did. See if that took the relief out of the neck. No, it didn't. It's about the same. So if I do righty-tighty, that should take away some of the relief. So let me try this. I'll give it a few turns and see if we can get the neck flatter and get the action lower just by a truss rod adjustment. Save a lot of other grief. It's actually going the wrong way. So we want to turn the wrench the other way. We'll undo what we just did. It's just been happily dormant. Now we're starting to get some tension on the truss rod. We'll do a few more turns and see if we can make a remarkable difference. And once we get there, if I can get the action down where I like it, and remember now there's no string tension really on here either. So it's not going to be a real great judge, but it'll give you a pretty good idea of where the heck we are. Alright, so we're on, I'm on the wrong side. Let's try using the correct side and see where we are. Oh, that's done wonders. That's brought us down. There must be a little bit of a bend in the neck down this end because it's gotten a little funnier. It took the flex out of the neck. It took the relief, I should say, out of the neck. But there's a hump down this end. So that's kind of past where the truss rod really only works up to about where the body of the guitar. So it only does you any good in working on this part of the neck from here to here. Okay? And here I think I get a bit of a hump. So I'm going to take a look at that. I gave it one more little turn. And if that gets rid of that hump, I'll be happy. Now it's starting to go down. It actually goes down, tails away on this end. So I've got the truss rod to get the neck flat. So it's flat right now. And with the quickie quarter test, what does that do with our height? So that leaves us pretty close. Now, with a little string tension, that should make that up a little bit more. So what I think I'm going to do is actually mark the bridge and take a little bit off on the grinder downstairs. I may hurt myself on this, on the high E side, because that's right on already. So I think I'll just leave it alone. And take the strings off. We'll clean it all up. We'll get it ready to go. And then we'll put a new set of strings on and see how that works out. Okay, first things first. So we'll clean it up and get it ready to go. All right, so I found a set of tunas. They're not exactly the same as the ones that are on there, but they'll work and they're new. The ones that are on here, they almost look like they're gold. But what they are is tarnished, I think, with smoke. Well, maybe they were gold at one point, but they don't even look close to it now. So what we're going to do is take these guys off, and we'll see how close a fit we've got and how much work we've got to do to install the other ones. We still haven't even got around to cleaning up yet. I want to see what I got for components to replace. So this should just lift off with this screw coming out. And then we'll have to tap out the grommet that's in there. And these are going to have to be drilled out because they ain't going to fit the way they are. So we'll have to drill the guitar, but these will work. That should be down the bottom. So it should be this one that should go in this side. And this is a fairly new set of tuners. So that the old hole may fit for one of them and leave the other one there. I'm just going to have to drill out for the collar that's here. So that'll fit. But that doesn't scare me. Okay, so what we're going to do is take all these tuners out because they're from hunger. They're really not working very well anymore. They've done their time. So we'll get these guys all out of here. And then I'll be back. And then once I get these off, I'm going to clean up. I'm going to do the cleaning. I got to pop the grommets out of the other side of this. And we may be able to do that from this side with a mallet. I'll find something that'll fit down there and then drive them out. All right, so we'll be back. I took a look. I got some other tuners, but these originally were gold, a gold color. All right, they're totally a train wreck now. And I found some online for cheap money from Music Lily. So I've ordered them and they'll be here Wednesday. So we'll move ahead, clean up the guitar, get it ready to place the new tuners in. That way I don't have to re-drill anything or do anything funny or extra to this relatively inexpensive guitar that just needs a lot of love. So the next thing I'm going to do is just knock these guys out somehow. I got to figure that out. And then we'll go ahead and clean up this guitar. Right, I've been trying to find a way to get these out. I got this little teeny tiny channel lock grippers. I just took the first one out just by loosening it up with this. Simple as pie. I've been trying to find another way to get a grip on these things, to remove them, and the answer was simple. The answer was just do it simple, Stevie. So there they are. They come out very easy because the hole actually is the same size all the way down. So there's really nothing to bang up against the other side because this is flush to the other side. So there's no knocking them out from the back because there's nothing to back into because they're flush the same size as the channel. So ain't that a kick in the nose? So we just got to pull these guys out of here with our mini with our mini gripper pliers. Simple. Simple. Who would have thought that that little teeny channel lock pliers that I picked up just because they were cute would work so well? So that's that. So now we're up to clean up. All right, I'm just going to throw these old tuners in a bag and give them back to Doug. As I started cleaning up down here, I noticed it occurred to me that the bridge might be lifting. It is lifting a little bit on this side. The other side seems to be holding well. If it was all the way across, I'd be tempted to heat it up and remove it and re-glue it. But it's, that's more work than I want to get into for this rescue guitar. It should hold up okay, but it's just something else I found. You never know when you start working on these older guitars exactly what the heck is wrong with them and where they're coming from. But anyway, we are doing the cleaning up, by the way. We got simple green, the solvent green, soylent green, working. I just did the body, and we're doing the fretboard now. And that should all get rid of all that smoky crap from the old days. And then we'll oil up the fretboard. We'll polish up the guitar and see if we can't get it looking a little better than what it is right now. Okay? So we're working on it. We're working on it. This won't get finished off until after Wednesday evening. That's when the tuners will show up. So we'll do all the preliminary work, all the cleaning, and get that all done, and get this guy ready to go back together again midweek. This is Monday evening, so we'll give it the best shot we can all the way around and make this a decent little guitar again. I think we can. Whatever. Not the best circumstance for a guitar to live in, but you are where you are. And from there, you know, like they say in golf, you got to play the ball from where it lies. But this headstock's cleaning up pretty good. It's going to look decent again, and we'll get the new gold replacement tuners on there by the end of the week and see how that all looks. It'll look a hell of a lot better than what it did coming in the door. That's one thing for shit and sure. So we'll finish cleaning and we'll get back to you. I know now I can see there's a chip out of the headstock here. See this here? I've got a color stick, mahogany. I'm not sure how that will go color-wise, but it certainly couldn't be any worse than what we got here. It might help blend it in and hide the defect a little. It ain't going to look like it isn't there, but it'll take the discoloration away anyway and bring it back to a brownish mess instead of a plain wood mess. Finish the cleaning up tonight. So next thing I'm going to do while we're cleaning up here and waiting for the other parts to show up and come back, I got some linseed oil. I'm going to take just a drop on the rag, very little, and try to wipe it all off. I don't want a hell of a lot. I'm just going to dress the fingerboard with some linseed oil and try to bring it back to life a bit. This has been around for 10 years, and I doubt if this has been touched in that time period. You know, so the wood's kind of dried out here in the fingerboard. It looks like it's pretty decent wood, whatever it was. Maybe it's mahogany, or I don't know. Looks nice though. So we'll get that good and soaked with linseed oil, lightly, not heavy industrial strength or nothing. Just enough to cover the whole board. And then we'll wipe it dry again. We'll get all that linseed oil off. And that should settle in and clean up and brighten up the fingerboard pretty nicely. So we'll make this 10-year-old guitar begin to smile again. It's got mother of pearl inlays. So I looked up the pricing on these, and it's very low end, I think, from what I could see. These weren't expensive guitars. The DR model, I think it was a lower end entry Epiphone, for at least from what I can tell. If anybody knows any different, I'd appreciate it. You know, the serial number is, it's a DR90NA is the model, and the serial number is 141100697. So if anybody can determine anything from that, I tried, from what I looked up, it was made in 2010, from what I understand, okay? But I've understood less than anybody in the world on a hell of a lot of things. It wouldn't be my first time. Oop! I should have done down here at the, here's some here, at the bridge. We'll put a little bit of this linseed oil on the bridge. Try to bring that wood back up a little bit. Make it look better. Little chicken soup never hurt. So that's treated now. We'll let that go. I'm going to hit this now with a just a buffing cloth. Microfiber. And see how good that leaves the wax we put on once we wipe it down. With a microfiber should make it look even better. For a 10-year-old guitar that's been neglected all over the place, it's starting to look pretty good. Come up here and do the headstock. Headstock's kind of scratched up. I'm not sure why, but it's got some scratches in it. And we're not going to go crazy about trying to make this silk purse out of a sow's ear. It's what it is, you know. It's an older, basic, student kind of, I think, guitar. It's in decent shape, you know, for a beat-up old guitar. So this is chapter 1 we're coming to the end of here. And the next phase, we'll be putting it all back together when I get the tuners that I'm waiting for. And when they show up, we'll put this all back together again and see how it plays. It'll look a hell of a lot better, if nothing else. We've given it a chicken soup approach. I think I'll make Doug happy with this. Okay, so that's the conclusion of phase 1, and I think I'll put this together and put it up tonight as chapter 1 of the Epiphone DR90NA restoration.